Forbes India and Indeed present Top 30 Talent Leaders of 2024.
So I lead hiring for Genpact. We are a digital transformation organization that partners with organizations globally to help them transform their processes. I'm based out of India, being part of the Genpact family for 25 years now, and done various roles within HR. The longest stint has been in hiring, so it's closest to my heart. And I lead the hiring for the organization, like I said, globally for the last almost 2 years now. I have a 17-year-old son, and a lot of time goes into now engaging with him and trying to understand the teenagers and their sentiments and what is it that motivates them. So on my personal front, that plus I do a little bit of language. I'm learning Japanese right now because I'm very enamored by everything Japan. So that's a little bit about me on my personal front. I think it's a lot to do with Genpact. So I joined the organization when we were GE Capital International Services, GECIS. And I joined operations actually. So for a good first 2 years, I was in operations. I personally think I did pretty okay, but I could seriously see the intent with which HR was ingrained in everything business, how business imperatives was as critical for HR to partner and help the business succeed on from a talent perspective. And that really intrigued me. It fascinated me rather. I realized very soon in my career that HR has a very strategic seat on the table in Genpact, then GECIS. And so when there was an internal job posting, I raised my hand and I got through. There was an interview process, etc. I never looked back after that because the kind of opportunities that came my way, the learnings along with that, it was just one challenge after the other that kept me going, helped me, learn a lot more. So some great opportunities came my way. I got opportunity to set up the internship program with the Ivy League schools. Then I got opportunity to be an HR partner for a growing business. Then I moved into recruitment and really saw a lot of amazing learnings in that role, and started leading executive hiring for Asia Pacific. Moved back into an equally strategic role in the business HR side again, and did a lot of pivotal, game-changing projects for HR, and then last 2 years in as the global hiring leader. So nothing that ever made me feel like I'm missing out on anything, just one after the other. Just the culture in Genpact of having HR as such an integral part of everything strategy has really helped me learn a lot. I believe it's the best place for someone who wants to build their career in the corporate world. Oh wow, so many learnings and therefore so many achievements and so many successes, but all of them collective is how I look at it. I don't think any one of these pivotal movements or milestones can be attributed to me alone. I've been recognized for, like I said, leading strategic HR projects. Again, couldn't have done it without the collaboration and partnership and a lot of support from my bosses in helping me understand how to engage, how to influence, how to prioritize. Being awarded just recently, earlier this year, in our extremely pivotal platform. So that was a very recent big recognition that was very, very close to my heart. Last year, I got the Global Diamond Award, which in Genpact parlance is one of the highest recognitions for my contribution in hiring. And I think more than these awards, it's just been an enriching experience leading teams which are best in class, I believe. And the kind of journey we've undertaken to transform hiring every day, frankly, for me, is a new milestone we achieve, a new learning, a new opportunity. So frankly, there's never a dull moment. Beyond these awards, it's also about the fulfillment that I have of doing roles like these and partnering and leading some of these initiatives. Great question. Listen, I think the war for talent has, that term that got coined has been there for a while, but you really feel that yes, there is a war for great talent. I think in a country like India, where we are 1.4 billion people, one tends to sit back and go like, how could we have a problem? We in fact have surplus people. But I think the real issue is the fact that the supply versus the demand, there's such a big gap. I was telling you during introduction that I spend a lot of time with my teenage son, because I do feel that despite personal belief that he's getting an opportunity to be part of a great academic institution, the knowledge base that is imparted to kids today and for a while now versus the reality and the practicality of what we expect from freshers in corporates is there's a huge gap. And therefore what happens is, in order to enable that as a talent leader, you have to spend disproportionate time in really assessing not just whether the person is skilled, but whether they have the capability and the willingness and the right attitude and the learning agility. And that doesn't come just by looking at the resume, right? You've got to spend time, and the intensity with which you have to do that of late with new skills, new age skills, Gen AI skills. And you really have to not be the master of all. You have to collaborate with businesses a lot more to understand and facilitate what is in the market versus your reality and what you desire. And how is it that you become that conduit to build that up at times to buy that talent, and at times to build that win-win ratio to say, listen, this is what market looks like, and therefore we need to repivot. So I think talent leaders today spend disproportionate time in playing that part of understanding the market, understanding the business, and then kind of bringing that whole marriage together of saying, okay, this is how it will fit in. And then on top of it, the war for talent, right? So everybody is looking for the best in class talent. So how is it that you stand out as an organization? Are you as an individual prepped and equipped enough to represent your organization at the right time, at the right place to attract talent? Is your team equipped to do that? And then the rest of the challenges that come along with it, which I don't necessarily see as challenges, I see these as opportunities, is really to say, am I bringing right talent at the right time, at the right cost? And there's so much recruitment transformation being discussed in the market over the last several months, especially. What is right fit for you? And will it really, transform hiring for you and for your organization? So yeah, those are some very interesting intersections at which we are in Genpact, which is also, I believe, what I sense, and I've been speaking to many of my counterparts in other industries are facing similar challenges as well. Yeah, absolutely. Another great question. So let me internalize and tell you what we are doing in Genpact in that regard. To the point that I made, there's just so much transformation. Some of it is, by the way, hype. I do personally believe, as you delve into talking to some of the platforms that are out there, they're still thinking through, they're still developing. So there's a lot more presentation and there's a lot more positioning and posturing. But that's okay. That's part and parcel of the game. I do believe there is a lot of real stuff in parallel also that has been institutionalized. So let me give you an example. For example, there are chatbots out in the market that you can bring in and really transform the way you are providing candidate experience, so that the dependency is not just on the recruiter to provide answers for some of the basic, FAQs. Again, the answer is not just in what's in the market. Where are you in that journey map, and is your organization ready for that transformation is also very, very important. The next one is interview processes have largely been automated. There's one-way interview mechanism. There is, there is an AI platform that can interview. There are interview platforms that can summarize everything for you. You can outsource your initial interview process as well. Some of this, again, we are experimenting with. Then there is opportunity to build your recruitment strategy through AI. How is it that you're able to build better matches faster with a lot of resumes out in the market? Some of them actually, again, more hype than real. So how is it that you're able to use AI platforms to really gauge whether this would be the right resume for the opportunity that you have? What else? So many onboarding processes have now been automated as well. Again, I think it's a very interesting time to be in recruitment, because you can really assess how is it that you can double down on candidate experience, hiring manager experience, and for that matter, let's not forget the recruitment team's experience, because there is just so much dependent on the recruitment team's ability to attract and to be able to sell the job in the rightful manner. And therefore, are they equipped, and are they spending their disproportionate time doing that? Or are they spending disproportionate time in manual activity, which today in the market, there's so many tools out there that can automate the non-core part of hiring. So yeah, very, very interesting times for us in Genpact as well because of all of that. I think a lot of interesting learnings for me in the hiring role, starting from new cities that we're venturing into. How is it that we market ourselves? How is it that we are able to create a positive and a brand that people want to join? And we're going, by the way, to cities which are considered satellite towns, if I may. They're not primary commercial locations, and talent therefore has been bereft of kind of getting opportunities to work in the corporate parlance. So many of them might not have heard of you, right? So how is it that you're able to very humbly ensure that you're not starting off your position by saying, oh, I'm a known brand, so I'm going to just do the same thing in every city. So every city, every country, because we are a global organization and we have very diverse skills, from customer service contact center to Gen AI, data scientists, etc., and then from sales to functional leadership to operations, domain talent. How is it that you're able to build your strategy which is customized to that extent, which resonates with that particular community or with that particular individual, rather than saying one strategy fits all? I think that's been a very interesting learning for me. Partnering with the senior most executive of the organization as well as our D&I team to ensure that we are a balanced organization. So for us, balance is as simple as 50-50. Very proud of the fact that I'm part of a company which is 42% gender diverse, but that's not a balanced organization even then. So how is it that we are sincerely and seriously looking to always position ourselves, and not just from a branding perspective, but very sincerely coming across as an organization which is very fair and very, very driven about this agenda, yet at the same time, we are a meritocracy driven company. So for us, it's all about great talent that has proven mettle and that can prove itself in our unique environment as well, right? Yet at the same time, ensuring that we provide opportunities to all communities, and not kind of unconsciously end up striving towards having a bent of mind only for a certain kind of talent that we believe is only going to do well. How is it that we build strategies that are very fair and very balanced in that way? Yeah, so I think those are a couple of things that come to mind immediately. be yourself, be sincere, work hard, work smart, but don't go after shortcuts, because you'll come out very soon as someone who's hollow. So yeah, just be yourself and build your own unique style and approach to things.
Forbes India and Indeed present Top 30 Talent Leaders of 2024.